Should you go to a language center? In this video, we're going to talk about language centers and self-studies, the advantages and the disadvantages, and help you make a decision if you have to go to a language center or study at home. So, let's start with the advantages of the language centers. In the language centers, you have a better environment to study. You have mates that are studying with you. You have a tutor that can better guide you and orientate you. You have a progress tracking system and a feedback. You have a structured course and a program of what you need to study over time. So, with all those being said, it's going to help you study the language faster with more guidance and feedback on your current progress. Now, home study. The conveniences of home studies is that you are locationally independent. You can study from home. You can study in the bus. You can study anywhere. And for the resources, you have a great resource like YouTube. You can download textbooks. You can download audio libraries and every other things you can download to help you study the language. So going into a language center, I went to a language center once and it was very nice because the environment was very friendly. Everybody was learning the language. Everybody was trying to speak. Everybody was forcing themselves to speak. And that's a very competitive environment. Being in such a competitive environment is going to motivate you even more to study the language. And you'll be forced to speak the language more often. Whereas when you learn alone, you don't have anybody to speak with or to practice with. So it's a little bit harder to find people to practice with and talk to when you just study at home. Whereas in the language center, you have a lot of people to speak to, your tutors, your classmates, and every other person you can find in the language center. Now, in the language center, you have a feedback, you have a grading system, you know your current situation, if you need to learn more or you're on good track to learning the language. Because every now and then, you guys are going to have some exams. You're going to have some exam. And from the exam score, you're going to know if you're really studying enough or not. So with that feedback, it's going to help you allocate your studying time and your studying energy. Whereas when you learn at home alone, you don't have that feedback. So you don't really know in which direction you're going to. Are you improving? Are you downgrading? You can't really tell because you're just like studying on your own, you see. You're just studying on your own. But another thing you can do if you're studying on your own for this feedback is actually having friends with whom you can talk to and which would tell you like, oh, you're progressing. Oh, you're not progressing. You're stuck and stuff. So if you can have friends when you're doing your home studies, that would be good. That can tell you whether you're progressing or not. Then, in language centers, the environment is really good for language studies because everything is set for you guys to study the language. Like, you have a particular time you have to be at the center, and you have a particular time you have to leave the center. Let's say in your center, you study for 4 hours every day. You are sure that you need to be there from Monday to Friday, from this time to this time. Whereas when you study at home alone, to be able to lock in for those, let's say, 4 hours and study on your own at home will be really difficult. You'll need a lot of motivation to do that. Whereas with the language center, it's already structured. You don't really need the motivation. You just have to show up, and you need to show up, and you will show up because you paid for the courses and you need to attend the courses. So it's going to help you show up more, you see. So with all this being said, what I want you to do, what I really think you should do, is actually combining both language centers and self-studies, because If you go to language centers, you know every day you have a certain amount of time locked in, allocated to your language studies. Then when you get home, you can add like 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on your home program, of more learning, of more practicing. And that will greatly accelerate your language process and improve your language. So if you have the opportunity to go to a language center and also learn at home, you should do both, please. As much as you can, go to a language center, learn as much as you can from the language center, practice as much as you can in the language center. Then, when you get home, try to revise and study as much as you can at home. And if you combine both of these, the language centers and the home studies, you're guaranteed to know the language in like 6 months. Like, there's no way you will not learn the language if you go to the language center and you also study at home. So thanks for watching the videos, guys. If you like it, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel for more advice and language learning journey talks. So thanks again. See you in the next one. Ciao.